Pattern and texture create excitement in a space. Today I'll be showing you how to use Stencil of Paris on a furniture piece. Tjhoko Paint, in association with Toys and Home magazine, is looking for South Africa's next Tjhoko champ. Today I want to show you how texture and pattern can subtly elevate a space. You'll need MDF or plywood, microfiber cloth, paint scraper, Stencil of Paris, Tjhoko stencil, foam roller and paint tray, Tjhoko paint colors, masking tape, paintbrush, clear glaze, cool cooled water, and a screwdriver to fasten your handles with screws. At the foot of my bed, I'm going to put this storage bench, for that midnight snack or whatever you want to hide away. I am going to show you what I have already done to proceed to the next step. On my plywood, I am going to secure a stencil with some masking tape. I'm going to use my Stencil of Paris with a paint scraper and spread the paste evenly onto my raw wood. I make sure my application is done nicely evenly, and once done, I remove my stencil and I can wash my stencil in normal water, dry and reuse. This I will now leave to dry depending on the thickness of the application and the weather. Anything from 2 to 4 hours might be required. I have already completed this step on this furniture piece. On this bench, I'm now just going to paint over the dry Stencil of Paris with Lorraine's cream. I'll be using a 50mm Enzyme brush to ensure that the brush reaches all the crevices and grooves. Next, I'll be showing a stencil technique with a subtle color and texture, of course. I'm going to take my Stencil of Paris paste, add a little bit of Lady Lisa, not too much. You don't want the stencil paste to become too runny. I mix through well, so the paint actually discolors the paste, and you can use any color that your heart desires. I'm now going to spread this paste on my superwood drawer nicely evenly. Now that my stencil paste application is complete, I'm going to remove my stencil, allow for my paste to dry, and then I'm going to paint the color Lorraine's Cream onto my drawer. I have a drawer that has already dried, and I'm now simply painting my Lorraine's Cream on top. A nice warm cream color. I also paint on top of the Stencil of Paris paste. So not only is the color beautiful and warm, so is the person it's named after. And for the room we are working in, this neutral will just add to the calmness of the space. We have worked with a few colors already, and the cream will just mute and add an elegant factor to our intimate space. Leave your paint to dry before you start with the next step. Now that my paint has dried, I'm going to use an 80 grit piece of sandpaper, and I'm going to sand the area where I have applied my Stencil of Paris paste, just to show the color underneath. It is subtle and beautiful, and you can decide whether or not you want to sand more. I'm going to leave it there, and then I'm going to continue on this drawer. Very important for the next step is for the paint to be dry 4 hours or longer. Coastal areas, allow your paint to dry overnight before you start with this step. I'm going to mix my glaze, cool boiled water, in a bucket or in a little bowl in the ratio 1:1. Tjhoko has a matte finish, but if you want a subtle satin finish, you can manipulate the sheen level by adding glaze to your painted surface. I'm using the lid of my glaze jar because I actually won't need more glaze than that. 1 part cool boiled water, 1 part glaze. Now I'm taking a damp microfiber cloth. I dip it in my water. Squeeze out any excess moisture. Dip my cloth in my glaze mix. You can wear gloves. There are no toxins, but the glaze will leave like a latex film on your hands, or you can just wash immediately after use. Squeeze out excess glaze from my cloth. Work in a well-lit space, and I'm simply going to wipe the glaze onto my surface. There you go, texture and pattern, and our furniture piece has been elevated to the next level.